Well, pent-up desire to travel during the pandemic has more and more people on the move these days. Tourists are vacationing in Florida's backyard, even during what was once known as the slow season.
Yeah, the big result is travelers to the Caribbean islands. But as CBS News Miami's Hank Tester reports, one island nation is not part of the trend.
Airports are overflowing. Americans are traveling, flying out to Europe, typical summer destinations, but also the Caribbean. Summers in the Caribbean traditionally have been the slow season. Not so much anymore.
The DR, Jamaica, the Bahamas having very good summers with their good air traffic and, flights from all over the world.
Many of the islands are getting tourist traffic that equals or exceeds the pre-pandemic boom travel years.
And so the DR now is seeing historic levels of tourism to the tune of now they're probably going to reach about 8 million people just by air this year. Which would be the largest total in the country's history.
Tourism these days is often measured on how well the sector has rebounded from the pandemic. The DR had few restrictions and opened back up very early. Not the case in Cuba.
It's still not where they were before the pandemic, which was, over 4 million visitors a year.
Cuba's hopes were for tourism in 2022 would generate 2.5 million visitors, but only a little over 1 million visited the island. During the first quarter of 2023, 1.2 million tourists have made it to Cuba, which is a 50% recovery from 2019. Cuba opened up later than other Caribbean nations. During the pandemic, their major source of tourism, Canada, had shut her borders. Now,
the Canadian tour operators are planning a major push to Cuba this winter.
That despite Cuba's issues with lack of hotel rooms, fuel issues, the U.S. embargo, which restricts significant American visitors, Cubans are looking to the Russians, who have promised to provide massive economic aid, including increased tourist flights in to Cuba.
I'm not sure it's going to make any massive dent in their recovery.
To bolster their strong tourism numbers, the Bahamas is specifically targeting promotional efforts aimed at potential South Florida travelers, especially new arrivals who might not realize the islands are just minutes away by air. Hank Tester, CBS News, Miami.